I gotta get out of the sun for a bit. This hard hat doesn't protect my neck like the hat does. I'm gonna have a burn. Well, hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. We are starting our machine operation at the Trout Creek Mine. We've been here for a day setting up. We've got all our plans in place. We've got all of our signs up. Everything is just humming along. There's lots still to do. And don't worry, I'm gonna show you around and show you everything that we're doing. So, wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. So we have been spending the morning so far setting up our, emergency operations center, our muster point, our mine office, everything under the tents here, getting a place that we can hang out in the cool, away from the rain or the sunshine or whatever it might be, and getting all of our gear in line. And of course, the mine operator, the mine manager today is Andy Thrax. Say hi, Andy.
Hello. Super excited to be here. Just living the dream, really.
We are having a lot of fun and getting a lot of work done. Hopefully by, what do you think, tomorrow we'll get digging a little bit?
I bet for sure tomorrow, yeah.
A good day of setup, and then we can start digging. Well, I'm having nothing but computer problems here. So, Andy just suggested we go dig a tailings pond. That sounds like a whole lot more fun. Let's go. So Andy's digging the tailings pond here, and the tailings pond is actually sitting on some really nice pay gravel. So we're stockpiling the pay gravel, and it's gonna be our first run to tune in the wash plant. And we're gonna make sure we have a nice size, a big enough tailings pond that we only have to dig it once, and that all we have to do is maintain our tailings, and the tailings pond should stay good for the whole month. Now, before we get going too far, let's show you around a little bit. Here is the tailings pond that we were digging for the last couple of hours. That is Andy's little excavator there. It's actually a rental for this operation. We got my bobcat that was moving the pay dirt around. Walking down the mine site here, we have Andy's wash plant, a small trommel, conveyor feeder. Here's the pay dirt that we just dug out of the tailings pond. And then moving down this way, we're not set up yet. We're just getting there right now. We still have lots of equipment to put in place and water tank to put up on the hill, all that kind of stuff. Here's Andy checking out the whole site with his new toy. And I think I showed you the mine office and muster point and safety stations and everything already. Now, Andy will be staying on site here to watch over everything. I live close by, so I'll just be driving home every night. I might stay over once in a while. And over here on this side is where our main trench is going to be. You can see we've already started knocking down a few of the trees out of the main trench area. Don't worry, we will be reclaiming this area. We'll be putting topsoil back on, we'll be planting new trees, we'll be making it look nice, better than new when we're done. But for now, we do have to remove the trees to dig the pay dirt out from below. So that's basically the operation, all just along this one little corridor. Let's put up the drone and have a good look at it from the sky. Now, while the tailings pond is still empty, there's a couple things I thought I'd show you. We don't know on this claim where has and has not been worked in the past. This claim has actually been worked for 40 or 50 years. And there's been hard rock exploration, there's been placer exploration, there's been a placer mine here at one spot. But as we're digging this hole, we see something that gives us some information. Looking around on one side of the pit over here, the material seems to be very loose, unconsolidated. Unconsolidated basically means loose. It's not packed in like you would expect river run gravels to be packed. Maybe down here it is. It's packed a lot more down there, but up here is very loose. And I do know somewhere in this vicinity, some hard rock guys did a big trench. This could be part of it, although it doesn't look like they got down right to bedrock. Tough to say. Over on this side, we find what is known as consolidated gravels or tight packed gravels. This stuff here is definitely deposited by a river, cobbles all wedged together, and all the cracks filled in with sand, small gravel, and debris. This is what I'm used to finding my gold in, this kind of material. Now we do have about 10 to 15 yards of material that we dug out of this hole that we're going to run through the plant, but it does look like about half of it is stuff that has been previously sort of disturbed, maybe not worked, we don't know, and half of it is, you know, the good solid stuff. We will be running this material because we want to make sure that our deposit does go through the whole bench, not just in one spot, so we want to make sure there is good pay material right here, as well as the pit that we're really supposed to be working. Now, one of the things I'm definitely going to do, since we have bedrock exposed, is bring out the metal detector and see if I get any signals down here. There have been lots of hot rocks and iron signals, but I definitely found one that's worth investigating. And nothing. Doesn't mean there's nothing there, just means there was nothing in 2 test pans. We have about 10 billion pans worth of gravel to run through that wash plant. There will be gold there. Let's get to doing that.
Just got to put some fuel in the generator, and then when we're ready to fire up, prime the pump, and we're good to go.
So it looks like we're about ready to get started. Got all the PPE on, got my safety radio in the pocket, just fueling and priming everything, and we're about to get going. The idea here is that Andy is going to run the excavator, feeding the machine. I'm going to run the Bobcat, taking care of the tailings, moving the tailings away, spreading them out nicely, piling them where they're supposed to be, and between the two of us, we're hoping to get through 10 yards in 2 hours. He figures his machine can do 5 yards an hour. This is hilarious. Andy's about to go fire up the pump, and I have 5 cameras on me right now, or on the machine. I've got one right there, it's a time lapse. I've got 2 on the machine to capture the water coming in, and there's another one over in the tree over there with a time lapse of just the whole area. Gotta make sure we don't miss any good shots. Here comes the first scoop of the Trout Creek Placer Mine. What an awesome day. We are up and running, and I guarantee you already that we have gold in the box. Woohoo! Now to run 10 yards. My job in the operation right now is to deal with the tailings so they don't build up so much they interfere with the sluice. So we're getting to the point where I'm gonna have to pull the Bobcat over and start taking a scoop away. So we are having one small issue. The material here is far sandier than what Andy is used to putting through his machine. And we're ending up with a lot more volume going through the sluice than we like. So we've turned down, we had a little jam as well. So we have turned down the volume coming through it, hoping to alleviate the stress on the sluice. But right now, we're a little bit concerned. It may take us a day or two to figure this out and to unjam the hopper. Now, according to 5 scoops per yard, this will be exactly 7 yards of material through the machine. Our water pump only has about 5 minutes worth of gasoline left in it. So we're gonna call it quits at 7 yards here and see how we did. Just cleaning out the hopper of the last little bit. Here comes the last rock of this run. Well, I'm not seeing massive quantities of gold in there. That was perfect. We ran for 2 hours and the pond came up, 90% of the way full. It wasn't even threatening of overflowing anywhere. That was perfect. If we want to do another run now, we would just put the intake into the pond and just recirculate from the pond. And he just pulled out the upper sluice. And what do we see? What do we see?
First thing we see is gold right on top. Dan's with the laser eye. Spotted it. I didn't even see it.
There we are. There's gold in the sluice. I see multiple pieces. I'm excited. Let's get cleaning. Now the way this machine works is there is an upper sluice here which is supposed to do all the hard work. It's supposed to catch everything. But if there is a big nugget that maybe doesn't get through the smaller holes and waits to get out the bigger holes, or something tumbles through, whatever, underneath, after the main sluice, there is a boiler box that will catch anything big, and then a second sluice with 3-pound grading on it that's gonna catch any of the big stuff that didn't get through the small holes, waited for the big holes, and then dropped into the final sluice. As Andy rinses out the sluice underneath the miner's moss, we're seeing a lot of gold in that black sand. It's all fine down there. It's the stuff that made it through the miner's moss, but there is a lot of it. We are excited.
Super exciting.
Okay, the first thing we're gonna check is the boiler box to see if the boiler box found any big nuggets for us. I will keep all these tailings, we'll run all these tailings through a cleanup sluice afterwards, so it doesn't matter how badly I pan here.
This would be where those 2-grammers will be laying.
Sounds like your generator is about to die.
Still a good bit of black sand caught in that thing.
Yep. Okay, let's see what we got in the boiler box. 1 piece of gold. A couple little specks. Hoping for a nugget?
Yeah, I was hoping there'd be nothing or a nugget, but to see some fine in there isn't very promising.
But that's not very much fine. That's pretty small percentage.
Yeah.
So there we go. There was 1 or 2 more little tiny specks like that, but 1 nicer piece. That's not very much. Hopefully that means the upper sluice caught it all. Next will be the bottom sluice. So the bottom sluice is actually below the boiler box.
Ready for it all?
You bet.
You want it out here so that dirty water doesn't go in?
Okay, sure.
We might be able to avoid some.
Okay, the bottom sluice. So in this sluice here, we're hoping for nothing but nuggets, because if we find any fine stuff, that means it went through the upper sluice. That being said, we were running that upper sluice really badly today. This pan is so heavy because of all the black sand. It will be nice when we get a clean up sluice and, you know, the gold drop and spiral wheel, whatever it is we're gonna use for cleanup. Nice to have that up here. Then we won't have to pan.
Full little system in place.
I'm not seeing any. Yeah, that's a good sign. Well, let's see what we got. I'll be down enough. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a nice flake.
Wow.
That's a picker. I just picked it up. Really thin.
Well, there's more in there than I realized there would be.
There we go. There's the gold in the nugget sluice at the bottom. Unfortunately, that stuff made it through the upper sluice. But really, that's still not very much in the greater scheme of things. Now let's do the primary sluice. Now this is the good stuff. This is from the primary sluice, and we're going to do this in multiple pans because we don't want to overload one pan with quite that much black sand. So we're doing this one slowly, a couple scoops at a time, and it ended up being almost all black sand in there, so it's very, very slow, tedious panning, very, very heavy pan. Saw a little bit of gold in the back corner right off the bat, but then the gold all hid away, so we'll see in a minute what's in the first 2 scoops. Well, that's about as far as I'm going to take this. Any cleaner than this, we're going to have to use one of our fancy machines or doing it a teaspoon at a time. But let's see what's in it. Gold everywhere. That was just the first 2 scoops. Well, there we go. I just put a little bit of it off in one spot to get close-ups of it. There's a lot more still left in the black sands. Here's the second pan from our concentrates from the primary sluice. How many pans do you think we're going to get out of there?
One more.
One more?
3 in total.
3 in total. The last one's always the best.
That's right. That is the cream right there. Best of the best.
Well, there we go. That's what was in the second pan of 2 scoops of the concentrates. Not as much as the first, unfortunately. Let's hope pan 3 holds the majority of the gold. Here we go, putting the remainder into the pan. Hopefully, this is the best. Well, it's a good thing we're not, resting the fate of this whole claim on what's in the tailings pond, because I just got a look at what's in here. And it's not that great. There's a couple nice pieces. There's fine gold throughout, but this is not going to make a gram of gold.
You know what? That doesn't look that bad. I'm actually happy with that.
That is some pretty nice looking gold, that is for sure. I am happy with that. Now to go find 100 times more. Well, this is awesome. 2 days into these permits, and we got our first clean out done. Basically a nothing clean out. This was just the scrap basically out of the bottom of the tailings pond. And look at that. We're thinking there's probably something close to half a gram to maybe a gram in there from what should be basically garbage. Hey Andy, what did you just do?
I honestly never thought I'd be the guy to do this. I was holding the pan and it flipped out of my hand. I literally just dumped all our gold right there. It's here. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it's not in the pan anymore.
I think I know what Andy's doing tonight.
Never thought I'd be that guy.
I might not have that picture for you right away. It will be here. Well, there we go. 0.525 grams of gold from that first run. The first test run, tuning everything in. Not as much as we'd like, but it never is. Well, this is awesome. 2 days into the permit, actually 3 days at camp here, and we've had our first run under our belt. We've got our first gold in our snuffer bottle. This is working out amazingly. A day for setting up the camp, a day for sort of planning and, making sure we know what we're doing here, and then our first day of digging. Who could ask for anything more? We will definitely weigh up that gold as soon as it dries out, and I'm gonna leave the totals right here. Hope you all enjoyed our first video from the Trout Creek operation. There will be many more. Big thanks for everyone for watching, and an extra big thanks for my patrons out there. Because of your support, I get to make these videos of my mining endeavors. If you'd like to learn how to become a patron, head off to www.patreon.com/Dan Hurd. Hope you're all having an amazing day. I sure am. And until the next video, everyone, bye.